day everyone, and now we are answering module number 6 for 4th quarter. We have a new competency which is all about composing a research report on a relevant social issue. So we will start on page number 1. And our objectives for this module: define research report, distinguish the preliminaries of research process, determine the structure of a research report using IMROD format, and compose a research report on a relevant social issue. So in what I know, you will just tell if it's true or false by writing capital T if it's true, then capital F if it is false. So your answers here will be compared later after discussion. So for what's in, human race has answered and still continues to answer myriads of questions, and that is by having scientific process which is needed in our research, in conducting research and studies. So research is a systematic investigation, meaning it is a process. You will not go immediately with a conclusion with improper process or with not sufficient information. So a research report is often used in the fields of sciences, engineering, and psychology. As a member of the academic community, your aim is to write clearly and concisely about your research topic to easily understand the purpose and results of your research. So even in studying, we really need research because there are really problems that we have to answer, and by ourselves, by our own study, by our own determination to conduct a study, we should always know the proper conduct of the study and how to start with the topic. So we have the research process and preliminaries. We have first to identify the research topic, because without anchoring ourselves what should be answered, what should be the central focus of our research, we cannot go on. And the research topic question, so after determining the topic, we will have our questions that should be answered, and that should be answered at the last part of the last part of the study. And the thesis statement, it will be your statement where it will give the focus, the aim, or the goal of your study, which will also touch the research question and the topic. So this will be your title of your research report. First, identify the research topic. If your topic will all about reading comprehension, your performance task, it is based on you, on what really your school, your class, your classmates are really suffering with or struggling with. The subject of the discussion or your research topic should be narrowed from general to specific. Funneling your topic should be answered by WH questions as follows. So it should be specific. If reading comprehension, then what year, what strategy, what, or even specific detail for you to really attain. Because if it's general, the more general it is, the more hard it is to conduct. But the more specific it is, the more it will become achievable. So, letter A, who are the people involved? Demographics, or the population, age, gender, even the respondents. Are they grade 9 students, grade 10, grade 7, grade 11, or the teachers, the students, the parents? Or are they all female? Are they combined or not? Are they all under their age range 15 to 18, 14 to 17, like that? You should include that. You should be specific and direct. B, when is this happening or has happened? Timelines or time frames. So if it's under 4th quarter, what specific weeks, like that. You have your timelines. First week will be orientation. Second week will be the study or the data gathering itself, you will also tell. Then where is this, even the school year, in when? Where is this happening or had happened? Places, countries, states, regions. So from general to specific, to Bulacan, Obando, then down to your school, what section. You have to be specific. So why? So causes, treatments, and outcomes. So you should always include why did you choose them? Why did you choose that school, that place, that time also? So you have to state the reasons. Once these double-based questions are identified, it's important to note of an underlying principle or rationale. Here's the simplest form you can use. I am researching, then your topic, your chosen topic, because I want to find out the problem. For example, I am researching about reading comprehension because I want to find out the low performance or reading performance rate in order to have higher rate of reading comprehension. That is for application. Example given. I am researching banana peelings as an alternative fertilizer. That will be the topic. Then because I want to find out the pros and cons of its use and formulate my opinion, that will be the issue or the question in order to persuade my readers that my position is correct. And that is the application which will make the audience believe if banana peelings will be really effective as an alternative fertilizer. Another example, I am researching dyslexia in children. That will be the topic because I want to find out if an older sibling with dyslexia affects a younger sibling. So in order to convince my principal the need for family therapy. So that will be the output. If there will be an effect, then there will be an immediate action from principal, from the school, to have the family therapy. So number 2, impose the research topic question. So if you have this, you will make your own topic questions, which is all about that. And those questions are the specific questions to answer that general question. So this asks a relevant, timely, and important question which is answered in the research paper. How do we transform your research topic to research question? Questions should not have a simple yes-no answer, as this should require research and analysis. What are the qualities of good research topic question? It helps the writer focus. It leads directly to the thesis statement. It's open-ended. It guides research. So you will have specific questions. For example, you have here, is dyslexia in children does dyslexia in children have significant effect if an older sibling with dyslexia affects a younger sibling in order for school to have push family therapy. So that will be your general question. Then you will have specific questions out of that. What are the ways, or how to test? You will also determine the effect those older siblings with dyslexia with their younger sibling. So you will formulate all of the questions which will be related to your topic. So that will be your focus, so do not go far with that. And it should always aligned with your thesis statement, because your thesis statement, we will see your goal in your thesis statement. And if it's far from your thesis statement, how will it answer the main issue of your research? It's open-ended because you really don't know. You are not researching because you already know what's the answer. You are researching to know the answer. So it should be open-ended and you should not control it. Let your respondents, let the results and the data be raw and not controlled by the research or by the researcher, but let us be open with the results coming from our respondents. So, forming the thesis statement, a research report like position paper or term paper is an academic paper. And in writing one, a thesis statement is defined as a sentence or two summarizing the main point you are making. The functions and purposes of a thesis statement are to announce the topic to the reader, to reflect a judgment about the topic, and to provide the reader with a blueprint for what is to come in the paper. So like what I have said a while ago, that thesis statement, it will tell what your thesis or your study all about. It will be the central focus. It will be your main topic. So, in thesis statement, it is a very brief statement, but it will tell what is your goal, what it is all about. Consequently, successful thesis statements should be direct or focused, limited in scope, arguable, and supportable. There are 4 general rules to remember. A thesis takes a stand. It does not simply make an announcement. A thesis statement makes an assertion. It is not simple statement or observation. A thesis is a main idea, not a title. A thesis statement narrows the topic. So thesis statement, it is direct, meaning it's very precise of what you want to know, what you want to answer. And it's not only the title, because title is not a sentence form, but a thesis statement is a sentence form. Then it will take a stand if it is effective or not. You are maybe, or some of the times, or most of the time, you will have to see, or you want to see the effectiveness of particular research or a particular strategy, a particular project like this one, the banana peelings, if it is effective or not. You will really have to make and compose if you will believe that it's really effective or not. So it can be your hypothesis. So example given, the effects of the social media on society. It is weak thesis statement because it's only a title. For it is somehow looks, or it is somehow a title. It looks like a title because it is very incomplete, it's very weak. Applying the general rules, continuing advances in the social media platforms are having a great impact upon communication in modern society. So, because effects of social media, what kind of social media, what kind of effects, then what society, is it the traditional society? It's very weak. Here, we can see that the society is modern, which can be the society nowadays. Then the advances, that will be the effect or the impact of social media platforms. So it is not only the broader aspect of social media, but the platforms. It can be more specific if you will include educational platforms or just for entertainment. It can be like that. So the more specific, the more it will be more achievable. So for what's new, we are having the IMRAD, Introduction, Method, Results, and Discussion. So innovations are presented and applied in writing a research using this. So this format refers to a paper which is constructed by 4 main sections stated in acronyms. Lab reports usually use this format, as well as for reporting any planned systematic research in the social sciences, natural sciences, or engineering and computer sciences. In this module, we will discuss this one by one. So introduction, why did you start? Why did you choose that problem? So make your case and begin with the introduction. Here, the researcher provides the purpose of the report and background information about the research topic, which includes the TIOC, or the trends, background of the topic, issues, RRL, or related, or review of related literature, blind spot and blank spot, meaning what is the lack if there are studies or if there are related literature which state about in connection with your topic, what do you think is lacking? What do you think is the weakness of that study, or what is the connection of that literature to your study, in order to make your relevance of your research really evident? Because if you will be successfully connecting, or if you will connect your study to the previous studies, to the recent studies, then the panel, the readers will really observe that your topic is really arguable and really interesting and relevant. So that's the reason why we are having the RRL. Objectives is very important, because without the goals, without the aims, why will you conduct a study? Contribution, who will benefit? What benefits will be gotten by the students, by the teachers, by the parents, or the respondents? So here we have the review of related literature or literature review. It is usually included in the introduction. So introduction, you will briefly state why did you conduct the study? Why did you urge to have that problem, to choose that problem, to choose that issue, to choose, or how relevant it is, how we really need to conduct this study. So the RRL highlights various researches which are in the same area of the study. This is also where the researchers indicate the two types of ignorance. Blind spots are the materials that provoke to ask new questions, meaning there are new questions that you want to answer that will be really a big help to your study. Blank spots are materials relevant to questions already posed. So meaning it's really there, but it is somehow lacking, but you want to answer it, that you want to unlock new ideas about your research. So for method, what did you do? Upon settling the right questions to ask, the researcher should proceed with what ways to answer these queries. It can be qualitative or quantitative. Qualitative, it is meaning it is not more on computation, more on interview, more on, it can be in the form of answer or question and answer with the significant respondents which are really connected to your topic. Then quantitative, it can be tests, post-tests, pre-tests. It can be in a form of experimental or quasi-experimental. It depends on which is more appropriate to your study. You can use survey questionnaire, interview. Then the population is your target market, but the sampling technique based from the population, because population is very many. So you will use sampling technique. I guess it is explained in our video lesson, last video lessons. So sampling technique from the population, how will you get your target respondents? For example, your population will be 1,000. You will get only 100. So you will use sampling technique which is more appropriate to your study. Then the procedure, it can be in a form, it can be a form of survey or surveying or interview. Then statistical treatment, how will you compute after gathering the data? Then we have the research approach, how data will be treated. Then research method, how data will be gathered. Then research technique, what data will be gathered. Here, research, how data will be gathered. It can be, for example, here, how data will be, research approach, how data will be treated. Is it form of, you will just simply interview those tribe, because or you can, if you have specific groups, ethnic groups in your community, how will you treat the data from them? Then how the data will be gathered? Is it form of interview or survey, questionnaire, research method? Then the technique, what data will be gathered? So if it is form of interview, so you will have, it can be recorded, it can be written, it can be in a casual interview, or casual meaning you will tell your questions, then you may record, but it's a formal rather, not casual. Then research technique, research method, research approach, they are interrelated based on which is more appropriate to your study. So if it's appropriate to conduct an interview, then choose a research approach which will really make or help your study. Research method, research technique. And it is also a great factor to have a good study. So results, what did you find? As you are writing a research report, the results should directly answer the research questions which are imposed to in the introduction. As such, qualitative research uses figures and short description in showing the results. And on the other hand, qualitative research is for figures, quantitative is for research extracts and explain. Remember that no interpretation should be included in this section. So results, meaning you, after the data, what are the results? The discussion, what does it all mean? It can be the conclusion or recommendation, because in your conclusion, you will just summarize what you had or what you have in your results. Meaning it can be, you can answer your hypothesis, you can answer your thesis statement, and then recommendations after concluding, what can you suggest? What can you, if you proved that it's really effective, then what will be done next? If it is not effective, what should be done next? Like that. For what is it? Compose a research report on a relevant social issue. So we have references or bibliography because we are following APA, American Psychological Association, citation 6th edition. So there are different formats, the MLA, but most of the time we are using APA. So why is it important to have references or bibliography? It is because, so we will go to avoid plagiarism in writing, because if we will not cite it properly, it is not ours. It is not our property. We are just citing, we are just borrowing. So they deserve to be cited properly, and we have APA. So our standard format will be author, then the initials, like this one, the author, the last name, then like that. But we will have the rules for you to understand this. So this, if you have single author, only one author, invert name, give surnames and initial. Author, then initials. For example, my name is James Mendoza, then Mendoza, comma, don't forget the comma, then J. And after the capital J, period. Do not forget to capitalize because it's a proper noun. However, if you have 2 to 7 authors, you have to include their names. Same, single author. Then you have here the surname, comma, initials, comma, then comma again, give separated by commas and add an ampersand before the last name. So assign that one, the last name. So after each author, you will have comma. Like this, last name, comma, initials, period, comma, last name again of the next author, then comma, initials, period, comma again, so on. And before the last author, you will have your ampersand. How about if you have more than 8 authors? You will include first the 6th author's name, then insert 3 ellipses and add the last author's name, like this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. After the 6th, you have ellipses or 3 periods, then the last author's name. But same format. You have to include the last name, comma, initials, period, and comma again. But you don't have the ampersand here, but you have ellipses. However, if you have a group author, for example, your school or other school made a research, spell out the full name, follow with the period, like this. Royal Institute of Technology, Australian Learning Center, Department of Education, Philippines, like that. Then period, period, period. And after that, citing the names, you will have year or month, day. It can be the only a year, 2005. Then title of the article. For example, it's all about volunteer support, status, and survival times of terminally ill patients. As you observe, you will not capitalize all initial letters, only the first word. But if you have the colon, after the colon, you will also capitalize that, and also the proper nouns. But if it's a common noun, you will simply make it in lowercase. And after that, every information in APA, you have to end it with the period. Like this one, after the title, period, then also you will include the link. Then after the link, that will be the end of your reference, each reference. So that's the reference list, meaning you have to include all of your references. And then appendices are usually attached at the end of piece of writing. These are additional documents supporting your report or paper. This may include glossary of terms and lists of other supporting documents such as memorandum, ordinances, etc. So it will also serve as your what are the other papers or requirements that you use during your research. So you will include that for your panel, for your reader to know that you have followed the ethical standards. For abstract, it's a part of preliminary materials, the title and table of contents. This is presented in the beginning of your report, but should only be written after you have drafted the full report. Meaning you will have your summary, even the result of your data which were gathered, and you will also identify what's the conclusion, but in brief. Usually it is only 1 page. So take note to include at least 1 sentence for the report's purpose and importance, 1 sentence describing the method, 2 to 3 sentences that present the findings, and 1 sentence about the implication of your finding. That's for abstract. So take note of this. So it's very short. These supplementary and preliminary materials aid us in securing proper distinction and recognition of materials in research and other academic writings. That is why we have plagiarism writing to protect intellectual property rights and to avoid academic dishonesty and literary theft. So plagiarism, we already discussed it. So for our activity number 1, rank the following relevant social issues in the Philippines according to their importance of priority based on your opinion. So you will just rank them, which is more important to address. 1 is the highest, then 10 is the lowest. From your top 3 relevant social issues in the independent activity 1, write a possible and effective thesis statement for each issue. The social issue, If you, after ranking this, your first, second, and third, put it here. Then make your thesis statement out of what you have learned using the, when you say thesis statement, it is anchored with your social issue and your goal about studying that social issue. Then here, tell what is, for example, what part of research report answer this question? For example, what does it all mean? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4? Then you will just put the letter if it is all about that part of research report. Arrange the following ideas according to what section of the IMRAD format they belong. So introduction, so you will copy this table on your answer sheet. Then introduction, method, results, discussion is answer to research questions and the result, summary findings and the result, or it based on what we have discussed a while ago. You will just put each of those words. Each of those words, then is it under introduction, method, results, or discussion? Then factor bluff, simply write factor bluff on your answer sheet. If each statement, in each number there is a statement, then tell if it's fact or bluff. Fact if it's true, bluff it is not. Then decide on any social relevant issue and complete the statement below. I am researching, then you will just copy. It can be your answer here. In your choose one, independent assessment one, then make it in this format. What I have learned, what are your realizations, insight, or I learned that research is blah 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 based on what you have understood. Then what I can do is in the IMRAD format, write a research report on a relevant social issue, refer to independent activity 1. For example, of social issue you may use, you will be graded. So you will make a research report with IMRAD format, even a simple research report only with introduction, or we have here, for example, for a while. I will look for the page for IMRAD. Okay, the introduction, methods, method, results, and discussion. So even short but simple and correct using this IMRAD. If you have your purpose, you tell your purpose correctly, you will get 4. And it's connected to your chosen topic. Then the content, you have shown depth analysis of your topic, then you will get 4 points. Organization, meaning you follow the format, the IMRAD format, then you will get 4 points. Then for grammar and mechanics, it's very important because it will really affect the understanding of the reader. So you will get 4 points. Then the use of references, we had discussed it a while ago. So you will use the APA format and citing of the authors. Then you will get also 4 points. Then for assessment, you will just choose among the choices which is asked or described in each item. So we will compare later your score and then the scores here. So answer the 5 WH questions to funnel your topic about the thesis statement. The Philippine government ensures that information drives are well disseminated because Filipinos are still reluctant to be vaccinated against COVID-19. Who are the people involved? Based here. When, where, then why. Based here. So I hope that you learned about this one. So the additional activity and the other activities are very important to be answered because without application, it will really be difficult I know that it's not easy to make a research report, but if you try, everything will follow, because all successes start with little beginnings. Even though there are many errors, it's okay, because with those errors, we can learn and we can try something new. Goodbye and thank you.